नमस्ते। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः। गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जंगमं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानिनातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ अस्य श्री शुद्ध शक्तिमाला महामन्त्रस्य उपस्थ इन्द्रियादिवरुण आदित्य ऋषिः दैवी गायत्री छन्दः सात्विककार भट्टारिकपीठस्थित श्रीमत्कामेश्वराङ्कनिलया श्रीमत्कामेश्वरी देवता ऐं बीजं क्लीं शक्तिः सौः कीलकं श्रीदेवी प्रीत्यर्थे खड्गसिद्ध्यर्थे जपे विनियोगः। श्रीमाता श्रीमहाराज्ञी श्रीमत्सिंहासनेश्वरी चिदग्निकुण्डसम्भूत दैवकार्यसमुद्यता उद्यद्भानु सहस्रभा चतुर्बाहु समन्विता रागस्वरूप पाषाढ्य क्रोधाकराङ्कुशोज्ज्वला मनोरूपेक्षु कोदण्ड पंचतन्मत्र सायिका निजारुण प्रभापूर मज्जद ब्रह्माण्डलमण्डला चंपकाशोग पुन्नाग सौगन्धिकलसत्कचकुरुविन्दमणिश्रेणी कनत्कोटीरमण्डिता अष्टमी चन्द्रदलिकस्थलशोभिता मुखचन्द्रकलङ्कां मृगना विशेषक वदनस्मर माङ्गल्यगृहतोरणचिल्लिका वक्त्रलक्ष्मी पारिभाग चलन्मिनाभिलोचना नवचम्पकपुष्पनासादण्डतार् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। असतो मा सत्गमया तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमया। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। I bow down to Guru, Paramaguru, Parat Guru, Parat Parat Parapara Guru, Parameshti Guru. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Namaste. As a part of note and disclaimer, if there are any mistakes, I am also a learner. Please to get to my notice. And my statements are not a conclusive statements. They are just my perception, my thought, and my understanding. Everybody has their own thought. Kindly forgive me if there are any mistakes. In case if you have any mistakes, please do drop a message on the comment section or the phone number. My humble request. Right. To start with, there are a few beautiful lines of a Hindi song. एक प्यार का नगमा है, मौजों की रवानी है, जिंदगी और कुछ भी नहीं, तेरी मेरी कहानी है। एक प्यार का नगमा है। जीवन का मतलब तो आना और जाना है। दो पल की जीवन है, दो पल की रवानी है, दो पल की जीवन है, दो पल की रवानी है। फिक्र एक उम्र चुरानी है, एक प्यार का नगमा है। मौजों की रवानी है, जिंदगी और कुछ भी नहीं, तेरी मेरी कहानी है। एक प्यार का नगमा है, आना और जाना है, दो पल की रवानी है, दो पल की जीवन है। वक्त से दिन और रात, वक्त के वक्त है कि वक्त से दिन और रात, वक्त से दिन और रात. What really this song means? Let me explain you. There is only one thing that is called love. That is in the rhythmic beats. That will be in the rhythm. How do you put it across? It is all about how you propagate that love. मौजों की रवानी है. Mojo means that happiness, during that time. तेरी मेरी कहानी है. It is all, yours and others story in all of our life story. जीवन का मतलब तो आना और जाना है. This life is all about coming and going back. That's it. So this I just wanted to share, and these are a few principles that one should be remembering. Okay, in your life, in one's life, always remember this. एक प्यार का नगमा है, मौजों की रवानी है, जिंदगी और कुछ भी नहीं, तेरी मेरी कहानी है, तेरी मेरी कहानी है. Now, to start with, in my previous video, I was talking about the very aspects of yoga drashta, yoga drishya, yoga maya, yoga mahamaya, as the time and space travel and all which I was talking about. Now let me take the subject much further. Let me just try to give the brief glimpse of the very theology of whatever, right? Having talked about the 108 karnas in cross reference to psychology, the point here, our culture is widespread in various fields, and the vastness of the very subject from the objective front needs to be explored. This is one of the vital points, ladies and gentlemen, which I suppose we are missing upon. We are not exploring that subject and trying to get over it. Specifically, when I talk about Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas, which one needs to understand. I know it does not come just like that. It's very hard. Today, the text of Natya Shastra is such a book and textual message for everyone. It's not only for dancers, but that's a text or that's the metaphorical text which everyone needs to understand. It has all the constituents. It talks about science, it talks about astrology, it talks about mathematics, it talks about various calculations, it talks about planetary motions, planetary movements, whatnot, everything which one needs to understand. Though, if we really look back and see, the conditions and atmospheric situations are not the same. I definitely understand. But during that period of time, it was totally different, and this period of time is totally different. Keeping in that view only, they introduced yoga and meditative practices, which one needs to understand. It's not that we just understand the meditation or yoga practice at a subliminal level, at a base level. You need to go beyond a point, which is not happening as such. When I say beyond a point, beyond asanas, that's what I meant. Okay, and there have been many civilizations, colonies, social individuals changing, society changing, human genetics changing. There has been conversion of male to female operations. There are many things. There are many things happening as the years, centuries passed by. Very subject of genetics from the viewpoint of DNA, RNA, chromosomes, or you take what you call chromosomes, hormone replacement therapy is happening, body replacement is happening, gender transformation is happening, whatnot. So everything is like, like going beyond a point. The point over here is Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas has clearly explained about this. Try not to get into that. It has its own, like, ifs and buts, which is what I am trying to stress upon. Don't try to actually, like, exploit the subject in a what you call negative way. Try to work it out in a more exploration way. Explore the subject, understand the subject. And this humanoids changing their caste, creed, and religion due to wear and tear of the body. It's not wear and tear of the body or wear and tear of the mind or that mental thought process. We are not able to control that, and we have not understood those limits by and large. We need to understand those limitations. That's where Natya Shastra and 108 Karnas plays a key role. Yet again, karma path for some piling up, like that of files, get stacked up in the office when it is not done properly. In the sense, we are not doing our homework as a humanoid or human existence. Some of them are able to do it because they know what exactly is the meaning of Shastras and Upanishads or Vedas, whatever it is, as it is explained in Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas. They understood the yoga, perfect definition of yoga, and thus they are getting into that. So, dharma and adharma aspects are missing upon. We as humanoids or human existence have never understood that at first place. And specifically when I talk about this, I need to talk about astrology, astronomy, and scientific studies. They are going far beyond the reach of the human thought process. When I say beyond the human thought process, I am trying to stress upon the very aspect of rational point of view, rationality point of view. In fact, this humanoid or human existence has become irrational thought process. Develop that irrational thought process which is driving this human existence or this humanoid to a situation where humanoid or human existence is getting succumbed to the situations which is self-created as such. And we blame that seen and unseen God that is existing in the terrestrial existence. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the point which I want to talk about. And any which ways, Daiva Yuga or that Daiva Loka which I am talking about, where one touches upon during the dance performance or this yoga performance or meditative practices or rituals, whether it is yajna, homa or japa or tapa or whatever it is. One needs to have that proper understanding about that, why he or she is doing and what exactly it means all about, which is what actually is missing today. Definitely, yes, Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas. It is a text for what you call dancers, and dancers need to follow and all. But then the text is not stipulated to that extent only. The text is all about like explaining the way of life to the humanoid or human existence with the way that they perform those recitals. That is the point which I want to stress upon, which one needs to understand. And that is the reason why, if you really see, ఎందరో మహానుభావులు అందరికీ వందనాలు. What really that means? Who is this Mahanubhava then? Mananat trayate iti mantraha. Are we doing that manana or that chanting deep within, or you are just doing it there? Iti mantraha. That is what mantra means all about. And this is where, sorry about that. And this is where in classical dance form or classical music form, whatever rhythmic notes are, they are mantras that transform into the energy levels. And this human existence or human existence or this humanoid, on contrary, it's getting succumbed to that very aspect of you know uh, not defying and not able to actually not defying those processes. One needs to get deep into that, deep dive and delve into the subject. That's what I, that's what is my concern. That's a point of concern which this human existence or humanoid should be having. Dharma, artha, kamya, moksha aspect. And this is where the kama aspect comes into picture, which one needs to understand. When you are able to understand that kama aspect or ardha aspect, when you understand kama aspect, then you will be understanding that ardha aspect. Forget about they talking the kama aspect with that intersexual relationship. Today, that is what is happening. The moment I talk about the kama aspect, that's when people's mind will go into that negative level. Kama is nothing but wanting your wants. They should be rational, they should be legitimate, they should not be harming your mindset. When you have a positive, when you develop those positive aspects of kama or kamya, that ardha will become, you know, that ardha will have that rationality factor. It will not be transformed to swartha there. When I say swartha, it's greed. Me, myself, I. If I really get to that concept of Advaita philosophy, wherein it talks about aham brahmasmi, ekameva advitiyam, brahma satyam jagat mithya, brahmaiva jivo na parha, that's where this ego concept or whatever it is that I'm talking about comes in. So, all in all, one needs to understand Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas furthermore at a highest level of Advaita philosophy of Shankaracharya. Though not all of us have that, uh, uh, you know, typical thought process, wherein you would be able to actually like understand that theology. In simple terms, Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas have explained that. That's the further extension of what exactly Natya Shastra is all about. And all of the happenings due to the karmic deeds of the present birth is due to the fact that previous birth karmic deeds. How do you control this previous birth karmic deeds? Previous birth karmic deeds. Like what? What are these karmic deeds? How do you define these karmic deeds? To define these karmic deeds from the rational viewpoint, one needs to have that positive thought process coming. When and where and how do I define that I, me, and myself? And when one should be converting this I, me, and myself to we and are, who you are. In the sense, getting culminated into them, one of them. That is one of the primary key point and primary aspect for introducing Natya Shastra and 108 Karnas, ladies and gentlemen. This is what is the more or less an important factor. So, this humanoid or human existence, in fact, from the viewpoint of subjective and objective, okay, is to really comprehend and get that result from the rational point of view. There has to be some ration, not that irrational factor. Today, if I see dance performance or the classical music performance or someone who is doing recital, I don't get to see that aura, or I don't get to see that energies coming out. You know why? That rational thought process at an initial level, first level itself, at a primary level itself, it's going wrong. They are doing it just for the sake of doing it. In fact, I was actually like really looking at this, like, this was one of the motivating factor, or this was one of the factors which actually like led me to do these episodes of 108 Karnas and Natya Shastra. For the medical, from the medical fraternity point of view and from the medical viewpoint, if I really look at the scientists or research scholars have really not understood the very core concept of Natya Shastra or 108 Karna's introduction as a text. Though I may sound harsh and hard, but it's a bitter pill. It's a bitter pill. Sorry, cannot help. You need to take it. You will have to take it. I'm not trying to demean any of the research scholars or scientists over here. And this is where actually like Sanskrit language, influence also comes into picture. If I'm talking about the Sanskrit language as a whole, they are metaphors which lead one to get to that metaphysical level. Likewise, Saptaswaras, Saregama Padhanisa Sanidapa Magari. They do make a lot of sense. And if one is doing that rendition of the song, adding those vowel sounds or consonant sounds, you know the kind of energy levels that you get. Maybe if we are falling short of understanding what you call deep depth and delving into the subject core concept of the swaras, as told by, as expounded by, Dikshitar and Shyam Shastri or Tyagaraja. Today we would not have found what you call got to see the apathies or whatever is happening in and around the world. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. So, Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas as a whole, if you really see in a realistic sense, is having a rational. The very rational point over here is to remove those or that irrational thought process from the humanoid or human existence to get to the level of near to perfection, wherein we are talking about akara, ukara, makara, beja. Which actually like neutralizes everything. And makes sure, and if one really does this, understands this Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas from this viewpoint, he or she will have the capacity to actually like, even become an astrologer or a healer then. A fully realized soul also, nobody knows. In fact, I have met quite a few of them. And that's when they stopped even dancing. doing those dances. And in fact, this is the starting point or the beginning of the highest knowledge level, which is what I am trying to stress upon. And more or less, it is taking to the aligning and realigning of the genetics of humanoid. Human genetics controlling in the equilibrium state. DNA, RNA, hormones. So, the genealogy, this very aspect of genealogy of the humanoid needs to be strong. They are not strong. And that is the reason why today we are seeing so many suicides. And that is the reason why we are seeing so many coronas happening. And in fact, there is a bigger one that is going to come, and that will actually really shake this humanoid or human existence. It is going to be the worst of the worst. If we don't correct it now. This ecological imbalance, atmospheric imbalance, global warming. Why do you think that a global warming, or every year the summer or heat is increasing? What could be that one reason? It's not only environmental, not only ecological, everything is there in that. In fact, Natya Shastra or 108 Karanas, if you really see, every Karana, the one who performs or the one who sings, so-called Natvanar, generates certain kind of energy, which actually comes out and gets distributed in and around. Which one needs to understand. The benefit or that force which re-energizes the body, it not only re-energizes the body of a dancer there, the one who is watching, audience, surroundings. Likewise, even when you are meditating, when someone meditates, that energy is also distributed. When you perform yajnas or homas, that energy is also distributed. So all in all, if we see Natya Shastra or 108 Karanas, it not only talks about charis, vevicharis, Vedas, but it talks about creating that antioxidants which are harmful for the individual or the humanoid or the human existence. This text as a whole, more or less, talks about understanding that Anu and a Parmanu aspect. Nevertheless, Prakriti and Purusha also come into being. That's not a denying point here. Or Shiva and Parvati. This so called Prakriti, which is defined with female, are we trying to understand female from the logical viewpoint of she being the benefactor for progeneration, or are we trying to exploit Prakriti? Understand this, ladies and gentlemen. This is where actually none of us have really understood the Prakriti Tattva. We have been exploiting Prakriti neck and crop, by and large. And for a dancer, or if we try to understand 108 Karnas or Natya Shastra by deep diving and delving into the subject, that's when you will understand this Prakriti Tattva or Purusha Tattva there. And are we trying to explore the beauty aspect, or are we getting infatuated, that infatuation part, and trying to exploit that Prakriti Tattva or that female aspect? It's a direct question to this female gender over here. And it's a direct question to even medical fraternity, wherein male to female transformation is happening. Nevertheless, if you are born naturally, that's okay. That way out. But how far are we justifying the very rationality, rational point? Have we, if only we had understood that Prakriti Tattva, this transformation could not, will not take place. That X and Y chromosomes or whatever, Yes, one may say, how is it related to Natya Shastra or 108 Karanas? Natya Shastra or 108 Karanas is talking about Prakriti and Purusha's communion. Both the energies are the same. That does not mean that you try to really imitate or get into that Prakriti Tattva by transforming permanently. Specifically, when we talk about genitals, genitals of Purusha or male, genitals of Prakriti, female, it has a rational in that, in a natural way. What happens is, the moment we break the very rule of the nature, that's when the imbalance of the ecological system happens. And this is the reason why Stree or woman has that respect, highest level of respect. That is the point which I want to talk about. Natya Shastra or 108 Karanas is more or less giving that clear indication that there is and there will be and there cannot be greater than that mother or Prakriti. That is the direct or indirect meaning which 108 Karanas or this Yoga Tattva talks about. Though without Prakriti, there is no Purusha, without Purusha, there is no Prakriti. But Prakriti plays a key role there. Or that Shakti plays a key role. If you do not have Shakti, Purusha will not exist. Without Purusha, Shakti will not exist. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen, by and large. Thus, I conclude this video with a positive. Stay blessed and have a real blissful life. May the Guru's grace be with one and all. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamevavashishyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not being harsh or hard over here, but these are the facts. Stay blessed and have a real blessed. May the Guru's grace be with one and have a nice day.